kikwe Pitiye Jayda jalil de Rase Champions League Ek had gas me Haguman kikwe Java inaramene Pagi dulanne bhidi dasate gol ek gannai sit sarasenne samarok venne sabdeta denne We are one game one heart One game one heart Champions League this is where we start together we dream together we fight We are the champions This is the moment we waited for. The passion's rising, the call is clear. The Champions League is finally One game, one heart. Champions League, this is where we start. Together we dream, together we fight. We are the champions. Pride and fame, for every child who dreams a game. No borders here, no fear, no end. Just one dream that we defend. Marangal kikkaagome, kalathilaaradiyai minnavame. Champions League parave, unarvadakke tarume. Cheer ekai kemmak denne, kollu set ekama ek venne. Kick ek denne Champions League mein aramenne One game, one heart Champions League satanai aramenne Didi denne jaya ganne ek seenata abhiyanne One game, one heart Champions League where dreams take part Raise your flags, feel the art Football, one game, one heart Hey, one one game, one heart Champions League, forever we play The spirit of football leads away
Hello and welcome back to the Racecourse International Stadium on this Monday evening as we return for yet another match number 18 of the Sri Lanka Football Champions League. This time between the legendary Saunders SC and Sri Lanka Transport Board, who will be taking on each other in the second game of today's series of matches. It's a meeting of contrasting trajectories here at the Racecourse in Colombo, with rain on the cards and a stable wind as well. The temperature, of course, 29 degrees, which is reasonable, but the humidity set to play a part in how the game progresses. So, historic pedigree versus desperate recovery on the cards today. Don't forget, if you're watching us and you want more means of watching us, Sri Lanka Football Facebook and YouTube pages, Supreme TV for terrestrial local broadcasting, and of course ThePapare worldwide. And now for a look at the fixtures from earlier. Mathura City losing out to St. Mary's in the first game this weekend. Java Lane drawing against Crystal Palace. Solid SC beating Super Sun SC yesterday, followed by New Star, who beat Serendib SC. And finally, in the first game from earlier today, Moragasmul SC defeating Sri Lanka Police in what is considered an upset in this tournament, given that Police had a fantastic record. And joining me to speak about that and this game as well, Sudarshana Paris. Hello, Sudarshana.
Good evening, Deshan and all our viewers joining us on the broadcast. Yes, some interesting games this weekend, and if you may, the game of the initial rounds versus New Star versus Serendip. What a game it was last evening, and if we can expect something similar from this game, everybody will be happy. The last game of the year as well, coincidentally, as we move on to 2026. But first, it'll be 90 minutes separating these two teams and that big W.
Absolutely, and based on the previous few encounters we've seen and the track record of both these teams, many in the stands are expecting one-way traffic this evening. So, remains to be seen how Sri Lanka Transport Board can utilize this opportunity to upset the legendary Saunders SC, fallen from grace in recent years, but still with some very talented players and some real game changers in their ranks as well.
Yes, one of the only two unbeaten teams in the group. Saunders have a draw that will be weighing them down. They will be desperate to make sure that they not only win this one, but with a great goal difference as well, because that will come into play come the second essay of this tournament.
Absolutely, and the teams exchanging pleasantries. And a quick picture before we proceed. Sashanka Madhusanka going to be blowing the whistle in this one, ably assisted by Lahiru Madhusanka and Asela Sirivardhana, who happens to be my classmate, as well as Hiranta Piumal. So these guys have it cut out for them. What needs to happen? We had what many thought was a soft decision in the earlier game, resulting in a penalty that in turn saw Police SC lose out their first game so far this season. And I'm sure none of these referees would want such controversy. They'd want to be making decisions that are very clear-cut. And so far, to be honest, over the course of this tournament, the refereeing has been at a decent standard.
A couple of overseas players for Saunders SC and SLTB will be under pressure early on, because last game they did concede heavily. Saunders, like we mentioned, massive pedigree and have been reigning high and wide, and you'd be surprised, Deshan, back in the day, if this was a Saunders game and the amount of crowd that you currently have, because spectators used to flock around this club, who used to be dominant when it comes to the competitions domestically in Sri Lanka.
Absolutely. Unfortunately for Saunders, nowadays in Colombo, it's a different team wearing yellow that tends to draw the headlines. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. But here is an opportunity now for Saunders SC to really set ablaze their qualification record in order to jump into the top division and once again compete at the highest level that they are so used to competing in. And they've got the players, and I think anything apart from a comfortable win this evening will be cause for disappointment for Saunders SC. SLTB back-to-back thumping losses in this tournament so far, and for them they'd look at any sort of positive result as a massive win for them.
Absolutely, because their first goal, Deshan, will be not to concede defensively, put up a stronger effort, but can't get bogged down in their own territories doing that as well. The bottom dwellers in Group A will want to make sure that they start this game well.
Sundaraj Niresh there, playing in that position in the front of the attack. He's 28-year-old attacker, plenty of experience behind him, and has represented Saunders for a while as well. We have kickoff. Saunders SC with it all to play for, and almost immediately opening up the game and putting Sri Lanka Transport Board on the back foot. Pathum Gimhan on that left flank, trying to take advantage of those spaces early and just offside, and putting the SLTB goalkeeper Sudesh Suranga under pressure. Sanad Samira, yet another.
Into the box they go, but last gasp, a desperate defense by SLTB. You can sense that Saunders are just biding their time, just flirting in those long balls, making sure that they are on focus. Happy to take it to the back and play through that back four, who are gaining very good pass completion. Deshan again in the corner. Aziz draws in the foul.
Philippe standing over this one together with Niresh Sundaraj. Niresh, of course, formerly representing St. Peter's College at school level, has been a prominent player in the Sri Lanka football scene for close to a decade now. He also, given his ability, would be looking forward to ply his trade at the highest level. So an early threat for Sri Lanka Transport Board to deal with. Roger Philippe goes straight for goal and manages to win a corner kick. A rather interesting technique, of course. And here the ball comes in. SLTB managed to get it away, but interesting to have a dummy player for a free kick by the corner flag, isn't it, Sudarshana?
You can see that SLTB already rigidly. The holes opening up soon after those two attempts. And Saunders are just warming up. One of the under 12 teams of the Saunders Academy were involved in a tournament just across the road. Have made sure that they've crossed over to see their older ones, the models playing out, making sure they're heard from the stands as Saunders draw the first foul. Niresh.
Yeah, just getting speaking to calm things down, and that is good refereeing by referee Sashanka Madhushanka, who is just trying to stamp his authority on this game. And now an opportunity here. Nuwan Jayavira try to spread the ball away towards the flank, but fails to find Mohamed Izyan. Way too much on it. It's a bit of a concern about that Sundaraj Niresh foul. We'll try to get you a replay of that over the next break in play. We've had similar lashing outs turn into red cards over the course of this tournament. So did Niresh get away with one there? And here we go, SLTB trying to break through Ujanaka Chaminda, but nothing doing. Gives the ball straight back to Saunders. So far, possession heavily with the men in yellow. Intercepted at the last minute. Sundaraj Niresh looking for a through ball, and he finds it beautifully and just offside on that occasion. Pathum Gimhan, he's been running on to quite a few in the first 8 or 9 minutes. Offside on this occasion.
just not getting the timing right that time. It's always going to be difficult after that intercept. And the player closest to it, half thinking about volley. Sudesh Saranga has already been a busy man within this 8 minutes. Having to see off a couple of challenges from his opposite team.
Once again looking for Pathum Gimhan, but not necessarily the best decision making from Saman Kumara, who shouts at his the goalkeeper rather. Maybe a bit more composure would have helped here. Saunders coach Santa City.
The speed at which Saunders are able to turn possession is of major concern to SLTB, Deshan, because at this rate, if you're going to be chasing the game this early, there's only so much your engine will allow you to run, and Saunders are a team who'll be very happy to just hold on to possession as long as they possibly let you, because you know the firepower is up front there.
Absolutely, already at the back at least, looking like a Saunders training session. They've really settled in and very comfortable moving it around left to right. Beautiful Hoyt pass, just inches too far for Zayad Mufazal there. Coach Mohammad Izzadeen for Sri Lanka Transport Board. He's had a tough few weeks. Stalwart of the national team previously and has some experience coaching a few school sides as well.
It has been a tough assignment. SLTB not being able to play at their very best in the past couple of games. Being in the fight though in the first 45, but then in the second half really slacking off, which has been a pattern. New Star really exploiting that in the last game. They'll need to try and drive hard to make something work. They have to make sure that they're focused defensively. With possession of ball, they've been wasteful.
Absolutely. When Saunders do give the ball away to SLTB does need to be more careful in how they utilize this possession. That does not seem to be the case so far. Young Saunders lads coming out, as Sudarshan said, to cheer the idols. Still clad in that easily recognizable yellow strip. Saunders goalkeeper Yansan Alasane just pointing out that it was tied to him, it wasn't a back pass. And now Samira Pereira. SLTB trying to put something together. Nire Sundarraj with an optimistic pass, but nothing coming out of it once again. SLTB happy to take their time and waste the minutes away, so it's very apparent Sudarshan early in this game that in fact the primary objective of SLTB in this game seems to be to keep the clock ticking. It's not really a win-oriented strategy that they are exercising in this game.
Just like I said, SLTB initially will be focused on not conceding, because defensively they've been very shaky, especially in the midfield. They haven't had the luxury of having some talent that is a game changer who can change the course of the game. But Saunders not trying to work too hard. They've opted to go to the back and then from the mid deliver it forward.
Easy as you like from Alassane. Very simple play on his part. Tells you a lot about the level of confidence with which these Saunders players are approaching this game. And already, it's sad to say, 14.5 minutes into it, they've almost killed any sort of competitive nature in this game, despite still being level on goals. And it has been a mutual arrangement of sorts. Sudarshan as Pathum Gimhan once again caught offside. This is the third time, so he's always on that last man. Like I was saying, it's almost shocking because Saunders SC very comfortable against the opposition, and on the side of SLTB in the 13th or 14th minute, happy to have the goalkeeper kill seconds so early in the game. Something you really only see when you are a goal or two in front and towards the latter part of the game. So
yeah, interestingly, well, like you mentioned, Saunders looking very comfortable against their opposition, but they're not making use of that comfortableness to try and play the ball in the opposition territory, try to attack. They're trying to take it a little too easy there, Sean, and passes like those, if they're charged down, can really turn the game on its head. And SLTB will be hoping those chances are quite often to them as they win possession in the opposition territory, easily won back by Saunders. Now on the counter, Niresh gives it away as SLTB drives forward.
Niresh hasn't really found any luck so far this game. And now, what a tackle that was. Referee immediately halting play, by the looks of it at least. Seemed like a clean foul. He got the ball and caught the player secondarily. It doesn't really matter too much how the follow through impacts the attacker, as long as there's a clean purchase on the ball at the point of the tackle, and that exactly is how it has been awarded. So clean play on the part of Saunders. Indi Udara, Roger Philippe. Indi Udara again. Chandrasekhara. And now working it all the way to the back. Priyadarshana. Trying to get something off of Sundarraj Niresh, but failing to do so. And out for a throw in, Zafar Mufazil. Sundarraj Niresh. Niresh now with an opportunity to get the ball into the box. He puts a ball in. Here's an opportunity for Saunders. Very well collected by Sudesh Suranga in goal. So, bit of action for the keeper.
I thought half a second too late Sundaraj delivering that ball, still trying to get a feel. Hasn't gotten the touch he would have expected in the opening minutes. And then there was that distraction where his focus went on to not playing the ball but animosity with the opposition.
Absolutely, as Ziad Mufazal takes a bit of a tumble. I think a bit of a clash of knees more than anything else, really. And also a good opportunity for the likes of Abdul Aziz to have a sip of water in the meantime, and for coach Shant Siri to get some instructions across. So despite all the possession and the dominance Saunders have shown so far, we haven't really seen any clear-cut chances in the face of the goal as well, Sudarshana. So they've got it all cut out and all the work to do, really.
Well, for the time being, SLTB, what they've managed to do is try and set the pace of the game to what they're comfortable at. They don't like frantic pace, which they're forcing Saunders to do. Saunders, if they can maybe get some energy in and not slow it down, they will see many holes opening up in the SLTB attack. As you can see, they're converged in the same area.
Careless giveaway, and Nalim not really doing too much with it. Indiva Udara trying to get it but nothing doing. Priyadarshana taking his time, looking for some support, and puts the ball out. It's not very good play there by the defender, and Ratnayaka in that number 11 shirt doing well to press him high up the pitch as well.
20 minutes on, nothing on the board. Both teams not managing to create a single opportunity, clear-cut opportunity in front of the goal.
And I think realistically, Sudarshan, if I am sitting there as Izzadeen, I am looking at how do we structure this in a way where we can potentially take something home. I'm thinking get to half-time at parity, and SLTB with a first effort and a shot on target there, so that's their first one. Like I was saying, can we get to half-time on par and really build from that point? And what that does, particularly given the nature of the teams that are playing in this game, if they can do that, they've inspired some confidence within their ranks and at the same time really frustrated Saunders as well. So they'll be looking to do that, and so far they have been rather successful. And like we were saying, despite all the dominance, there still hasn't been a clear-cut chance yet, and Indiva Udara with a careless pass, a bit of a misunderstanding. Ziad Mufazal running over. And once again, SLTB now.
This is good from SLTB, trying to pave their way into the opposition territory, because territorially SLTB can't afford to play a lot of football in their own half, being very vulnerable in their defensive back and also in the midfield. Saunders, though, still opting to go for the tactic of trying to into the box, through the legs, and that will be the first. No, has been cleared away. Last gasp clearance. Nobody going for that ball as well. Free kick at the edge. Great opportunity for Saunders. The clear-cut chance. They were unlucky not to have gotten that. Opportunity now for Sundaraj. Hits the ball. Still available. Here's Felipe. Ball serving its purpose.
Philippe, they are trying to make something happen out of a challenging situation. I think the wall did its job, as Sudarshan said. The first phase of real potent play from Saunders. They'll be disappointed not to have scored that. But SLTB is still in it at the moment. Samir Pereira. And now playing down this right flank. Aleem. With the throw, but Sundaraj Niresh unable to keep it in. There's one team in this country with the experience of winning everything there is to win, with decades of legacy. So these players, these coaches, they know exactly how to get a victory over the line. Sudarshana with I think 12 Premier League titles and 16 FA Cups. It is Saunders SC. So in any of its manifestations, it's never an easy team to go against.
Well, as it is in all leagues around the world, Deshan, when you are not in the top tier, the second, third tiers can be really, really tricky to navigate out from, because not being in the top tier brings different challenges as well, where you're not able to attract the big paychecks and also the bigger talent who want to play in the top league. And when that happens, it's really difficult to try and pull yourself back, because the competition in those leagues, sometimes you get caught in games like this where you get too comfortable, and football is a very unpredictable game.
Absolutely, and as we have been harping on about for the last while, despite all the dominance, Saunders SC still 0-0 versus SLTB, and in the stands at least you can now sense the unease of the fans who want a bit of potency, and to see some of these efforts turned into goals. The frustrations, at least from a fan perspective, slowly but surely brewing. Philippe does well. Pathum Gimhan now on this right side, swapping sides with Ziad Mufazal. Gives away the foul. Asela Sirivardhana there on the far side. He's calling a foul for that tug on the shirt and, you know, pulling by the arms. It's a very clear foul.
I think what Saunders need to do is to try and go back to the basics. They are trying to execute different things that they know they are capable of. But in order to get into that groove, you need to try and do the basics first. Make sure that your pass completion is right. SLTB, on the other hand, They're happy for every second taken out.
Papare runs into some traffic. Here's an opportunity now for SLTB to create something to run into. But that first touch from Nuwan Jayavira leaving a lot to be desired. And now Saunders breaks into the box. Good bit of defense there on the far side by Mohammad Minhaj. Minhaj taking no chances. There's Nalim. Now with the long throw. Philippe. Played out of bounds and manages to win a corner kick, and now on the far side Abdul Aziz can whip this one in. Ball comes in to the far post and an absolute waste of a corner kick. Sudarshana works its way straight out for a goal kick on the opposite side of the pitch. As we complete the 30-minute mark, Saunders still, I beg your pardon, it's gone out for a throw-in, which in turn has gone out of bounds again. So referee just instructing that it be taken from further behind. And SLTB now gives the ball away immediately. Nalim to Samira Pereira. India Udar. An elevated ball, but go straight to Sudesh Suranga in the SLTB goal. Straight back. Jansan Alasane. Priyadarshana boots it long and not very convincing by Saman Kumara there. Ball goes out for a throw-in to be taken by Chandrasekhara. India Udara now. In excess of 3/4 of the possession in this game has remained with the Papare-based club. While SLTB continue to have little bites at the cherry, but nothing too dangerous so far. Indiva Udara once again with an elevated pass. Mufazel gets the ball into the box. Here's an opportunity. Absolutely vital interception. Minhaj giving chase, but a bit too much on it. Indiva Udara now with a cross. Indiva Udara sends it to the middles, very nearly to Philippe. Once again intercepted. Sundar Raj Niresh hits it first time. Doesn't really catch it cleanly.
Sudesh Suranga managing to negotiate it. That's unbelievable. How did he get there, mate? Did he not retreat after the last play?
From what we can see from up here, at least, Nuwan Jayavira, 33 minutes in, seems like he hasn't got much left in the tank, Sudarshana. once again now.
Well, like you said, despite the fluency with the ball, you wouldn't be able to try and figure out which team was trying to waste time here, Deshan.
Once again, a turnover of possession cheaply by Saunders this time. Now SLTB trying to make something happen. Janaka Chaminda gives it away. Very lazy on his part, but the defense making amends. Nuwan Jayavira turns it over. Ratnayaka, and wrestled off of it immediately by Nalim. And Roger Philippe manhandling his player onto the pitch, and the referee bringing it down immediately. Just signalling to Ziad Mufazal, pass it to me in a way I can control it first time. A bit of theatre there by the Hetty Arachi as well. A long ball coming in, Nuwan Jayavira. Trying to twist and trying to turn Mohammad Izian. And now a shot coming from distance and very nearly. Jansan Alessane awake to that. But a dangerous effort. Very nearly sneaking into that far post and catching Saunders asleep.
Well, if that doesn't wake Saunders up, nothing will. The threat's still not over though. Udeshanta to the block, Alasane underneath it. Felipe with the header. Didn't get the connection he was after. Here's a pressing run from the skipper, but that's an unnecessary dangerous challenge.
Ndiva Udara with an unnecessary late challenge. Studs showing he's very lucky that he didn't get anything more than that. Catches Saman Kumara. Barking out some instructions, but objectively speaking, Sudarshan lucky to be on the pitch.
Absolutely. I agree. And it's the first time they've got no face in this game. Substitution coming in. In comes Mohammad Zaid in place of Patum Gimhan.
Interesting change there, Sudarshana. Patum Gimhan has been playing off that last man the whole time he's been on the pitch. That's Mohammad Zaid. SLTB seems to be resorting to your conventional long ball football for this game. When in doubt, kick it out. So Indiva Udara with a yellow card that many in the stands as well feel should be something more. If you were to look at that foul in particular, his studs were showing and he was jumping two-footed, so almost certain red card in many other instances. And SLTB, they've done a credit to themselves. It's played 38 minutes so far and they've managed to hold fort in a game that many thought that they'd be run over.
Yeah, when that is the expectation, it's always difficult, isn't it? When you are a team, you know that you're coming in for a game that you're expected to win. You start thinking by how many goals has Saunders still chased for their first. Good challenge on Mufassal. Giving it away cheaply.
Good turn there by Jayavira. Just a bit too much on that one as well. Roger Philippe offside yet again. Goalkeeper taking his time, but Azaluri Sudarshana, like you were saying, especially you've seen it all over the world, when teams are happy to sit back and play that low block, it does make things very confusing for teams. You can be a substantially better side, but when you do have a team that's sitting back and letting you attack, happy to hit on the counter, you do really need to have cutting edge ideas on the pitch. And Saunders have the players to do that, but they've just not found much joy and they've not been creative enough, especially the likes of Sundarraj Niresh. Indiva Udara needs to be careful. Deserved card there for Saman Kumar. Udara very nearly lashing out, and he needs to be careful since he's already on a card as well. The ball whipped in here. Nuan Jayavira tries something, doesn't quite work. Now 41.5 minutes into this half. Sri Lanka Transport Board still holding fort. Ziad Mufazal works it back. Priyadarshana. Mufazal once again. Hopeful ball. Sundarraj Niresh looking for options. Tries to Trivela it out of trouble, but loses the ball immediately, and once again SLTB. Roger Philippe wins it back. And very nearly, but Saman Kumar gifts it to Indiva Udara. Indiva Udara couldn't do much. A bit of football ping pong going on in the middle of the park. The quality of the game hasn't been very good so far, Sudarshan. Both teams, no end product on both ends. SLTB understandably so, but Saunders should be doing better. Nuan Jayavira manages to win a foul, break the momentum there for Saunders SC, and that's exactly what they like to do. And they'll be very pleased with that, and now opportunity to get across in. SLTB do have some big men there, do have a height advantage compared to the Saunders lads. Nuan Jayavira, a nice little piece of footwork to get it away from Samira Pereira and then Chandrasekhar as well.
Chandrasekhar lazy. Oh, a chance, a connection. But the only difference, Alisane. Beautiful collection there. Well directed, Alisane, the goalkeeper. Now he will be very vocal here, Deshan. It's not the first time that he's been called into action. He's skying it. Saw that the goalie was missing. Got too eager. Now SLTB.
Nuan Jaivira should be keeping that a bit lower. And had he done that, or had he got it on target, it was a definite goal because Alansane was too busy picking himself up. In terms of clear-cut chances and testing the opposition skipper, Sudarshana, it's been all SLTB this half.
Yeah, also they've managed to frustrate them as well, the Saunders. Even so, their skipper, who is a very well experienced man, Deshan, and it's understandable to be frustrated because you're not being allowed to play at your own pace. They're deliberately slowing it down and looking for those roll of dices and chances to come their way. And when they've come, they've looked threatening SLTB. Cannot blame them though, because there is a massive contrast in quality as well between the two teams. There's 2 minutes of added time, minimum 2 minutes of added time in this half. SLTB with another ball to the box. Opportunity for Udara.
First touch really giving it away from Indiva Udara and forcing him a bit further wide than he'd like to have gone. And very up! What a goal that was! So against the run of play, Ziad Mufazal. An absolute mishit there by the winger. But it does what it needed to do and loops in over the goalkeeper. Doesn't really catch it well at all. Slices it almost. And
Well, how about that? To light up the game, looked like a complete fluke. But he did want to try and slice that all the time, Deshan. First goal for Ziad Mufasal in the game.
So that changes the game now for SLTB, leaving them with a mountain to climb against the run of play. Saunders have made it 1-0. Alansane is happy to take his time and go into this half-time interval with a 1-goal lead. Saunders now with the right foundation for the rest of this game. And that's the short whistle for the first half. Up until about a minute ago, we'd have told you SLTB would go into this half-time interval far happier of the two teams, but following a moment of magic by Ziad Mufazal, it's all about Saunders. And they've set the right platform now to go ahead and really win this thing. And as we walk into the half-time interval at the Racecourse International Stadium here in Colombo, it's Saunders 1, Sri Lanka Transport Board 0.
හිතවත් කික්වේ පිටියේ ජයද ජලලදේ රැහසේ Champions League එක හද ගැස්මේ හැඟුමන් කික්වේ ජවයෙන් නැරමෙන්නේ පාටි දුලන්නේ විහිදී දසතේ ගෝල් එක ගන්නයි සිත් සැරසෙන්නේ සැමරොක් වෙන්නේ සබ්දෙට දෙන්නේ We are one game One heart One game, one heart Champions League This is where we start Together we dream, together we fight We are the champions Under the
புத்தாங்கள் புதுமொழியே இரங்கள் மதங்கள் கடந்திடுமே ஒன்றாய் இணைந்து பயணித்தோம் சாயல்கள் தாண்டிடுவோம் The lights are shining, the crowd will roll This is the moment we waited for The passion's rising, the call is clear The Champions League is finally
One game, one heart Champions League This is where we start Together we dream, together we fight We are the champions Under the
We play for love, pride and fame For every child who dreams again No borders here, no fear, no end Just one dream that we defend மரங்கள் கிக்க ஆகுமே களத்தில் உறுதியாய் மின்னுவோம் நாமே Champions League வரவே உணர்வதற்கே தருமே
Cheer එකයි කැම්මක් දෙන්නේ කොල්ලො සෙට් එකම එක් වෙන්නේ ගෝල් එකට කික් එක දෙන්නේ Champions League මේ අරඹන්නේ One game, one heart Champions League සටනයි අරඹන්නේ පිපි දෙන්නේ ජය ගන්නේ එක සීනට අපි යන්නේ One game, one heart Champions League where dreams take part Raise your flags, feel the art Football, one game, one heart Hey oh, one green, one star Hey oh, one game, one heart Champions League, forever we play The spirit of football Leads away
Hello and welcome back to the Racecourse International Stadium for the second half of this Champions League encounter between Saunders SC and SLTB SC. It was a game of utter dominance possession-wise by Saunders, but the clear-cut chances fell to Sri Lanka Transport board, funnily enough. But then come the dying embers of the first half. Saunders managed to pull one back and go ahead 1-0 thanks to a fantastic goal really from Ziad Mufazal in that number 8 shirt, who took the ball on the spin and hit it first time, causing the ball to loop over the keeper, leaving Sudesh Suranga stranded on the spot and the ball nestling into the far corner of the net. And while that has changed the nature of the game and definitely also impacted how the second half is set to go, SLTB have it all cut out for them, despite being a credit to themselves and holding fort in a game that they were expected to lose comfortably given their recent track record. So now Sashanka Madhushanka, with the whistle in his mouth, blows to kick things off, and immediately Janaka Chaminda spreads the play out wide and loses possession. So Saunders SC looking to turn this into a comfortable win. Indivu Udar, their skipper, of course, with a very silly yellow card that some could argue could have been worse. But he's still on the pitch and will continue to be the motor behind that Saunders midfield. The SLTB defense, Udeshanta there in the middle of the park. The SLTB lads not really in the best condition, to be fair, as well. In the first half we saw in particular that Nuwan Jayavira up top there struggled to keep with the pace of the game, as did Udeshanta in the middle of the park. So they need to be pulling out all the stops and really getting around the pitch successfully if they want to keep this scoreline respectable at the very least. Early shot coming in, not really going anywhere. Saunders can afford to do that. That's how comfortable they've been in most of this game in terms of holding on to possession. They just need to make sure they're a bit tighter at the back. Sudesh Suranga will be wondering how that goal managed to go in watching that replay, as I'm joined again by Sudarshana Piris. Sudarshana, SLTB for 46.5 minutes thought they did everything right. Saunders for 46.5 minutes thought they weren't doing enough and suddenly went into the half-time interval with a 1-goal lead.
Saunders really need to make sure that they build on that goal, Deshan, because complacency like those starting 45 to 46 minutes, if you have with 1 goal down and a freak opportunity, getting the equalizer for SLTB is not the ideal place to be. Saunders already have a draw in their hands. They can't afford to get another. Endeavour. Niresh yet again with a challenge. Careless, if you may.
We were just mentioning earlier, Sudarshana, that the SLTB players certainly do need a little more conditioning, particularly midway through the first half. We saw a number of players really struggling to keep up pace with the game, and as the teams tire and as that fatigue sets in, you start giving the ball away cheaply, you start making tactical errors, and they really can't afford to do that.
That has been a problem for SLTB. Like I mentioned early in the first half, the rate at which they just give away possession, and that's going to be something that's Naresh trying to connect that on the volley. Still available for Saunders. Now a desperate clearance from SLTB. This is how they will want to play this game, to try and get away from their own box and red zone. Here's the goal scorer, Mufassal.
Once again, Saunders, despite holding on to the ball, failing to create clear-cut chances. But here's the opportunity now. Ball sent in. Bit too much on it. Maybe Ziyad Mufassal pulls it back. And Udara Indiva with it straight at the defender. There's a lot of Udeshanta there to hit. Son of Samir Pereira. This cross also blocked. Ratnayaka there gets the ball away, but once again to Samira Pereira. Cleared once again. Straight back to Saunders, who gave it straight back to Sri Lanka Transport Board's Janaka Chaminda. He has been the glue that holds that midfield together. Asks for a foul, and the referee seems to have given it to him. Yeah, comes in two-footed there. Bit of a dangerous play. Janaka Chaminda is wondering why the referee waited to call it until he pointed it out. Ball coming in. SLTB hold on to possession, and the shot coming in. Bit of a snapshot. Doesn't really get enough direction behind it to Deshanta, but enough to keep Saunders on their toes.
Yeah, Chaminda has been fabulous delivering those very threatening balls. If they can get more bodies inside the box, SLTB will be ruining the opportunities that they've received. Really hitting them hard. Fahim, that time not able to clear from his first go. Nalim's throw to the box, half-heartedly cleared. Ratnayaka gets a ball, a foot, but it's Indiva who's gotten the last touch.
Ball turned over once again, and Udeshanta looking for support. Far too much on that ball. Immediately gives the ball back, and this has been the story of the game for the second half. Neither team really able to hold on to the ball and build something, turnover after turnover of possession. Doesn't really make for fantastic viewing either, but here's now an opportunity for Saunders to try and break. Can he come on cutting on the inside? He does, and he gets taken down there. heavy protest. He doesn't feel that he's committed a foul on that occasion. Tuan Fahim, the skipper, needs to be careful. He does snatch at him.
That doesn't get any of the ball, and clearly not letting the man who was in possession of the ball to try and continue play. There has always been a bit of tension on who takes the free kicks between Sundaraj and Felipe. Sundaraj this time moving away, letting Felipe, and no problem. Goal for Felipe. The second for Saunders in the 55th minute.
Felipe making no mistake. Would have assumed that the wall could have done a little better, but just the brilliance on that effort from Felipe, and now potentially with 40 minutes or so to go, the floodgates could be opened here.
Now it's a place where SLTB has been, but they haven't been able to try and be there. Only they've fallen deeper into the trench in the early occasions. Alasane that time saying let's take a breather. Now Saunders need to go all out on attack. There is a new freedom that they will want to try and enjoy. These kind of games are absolute coach killers, aren't they? When you know you are the far superior side, and you know your team needs to try and have that cohesiveness and the fluency against an opposition that they are far superior on, and they just don't do it and try to bog down to the same pace of the opposition. It's very difficult as a coach.
Absolutely, the weight of expectation also plays a part. And like we discussed earlier, a lot of these teams playing what you call a low block in football technical terms, and you see in not only the Champions League here but leagues across the world, it's a very difficult thing to break down because teams are sitting in front of their goal basically with a defensive mindset, which forces a lot of creativity to come about from the attackers. Indiva Udara does well to keep it inside but gives it away. Nalim now looking for support. Saunders now once again. The Udara down this right flank goes out for a corner kick. So Tuan Fahim, the skipper, conceding a corner. He must have gone into that 45 minutes just prior to that goal being conceded thinking he's done his job leading that defense after a tough few weeks in this tournament for SLTB, but the game has well and truly changed as the ball is drilled in here, and fantastic effort.
Oh, what a save from Suranga. It was going in for all money. Great delivery, good connection from Felipe, but Suranga with the stop. Individual brilliance from the goalkeeper. He needed to do a lot to try and get to that, and there's that.
Nalim now gives it away immediately, and this is what needs to stop for Saunders. Udeshanta on his bike not fast enough. It's a big man as well, so takes some time to get around the pitch. Janaka Chaminda now tries to lift it over the man coming to him, but gives it away, wins it back, and manages to win a free kick off of Sundarraj Niresh. He's a bit frustrated that he's not being protected by the referee. I think blatant foul there by Sundarraj Niresh to stop that from proceeding any further. It's had a few of those now already. Ball coming in from Janaka Chaminda. Ball immediately turned over. Saunders should be breaking at pace, but they're taking their time. Sundarraj Niresh back on it. Abdul Aziz spreading it out wide to Nalim. Indiva Udara calls for a foul and he manages to win it. A bit of a soft one in my opinion.
They're using his experience, making that contact with the turn. Take a look at that. Going down like a pack of cards. Udara.
Free kick now for Saunders SC. Another opportunity to whip this one in. Indiva Udara and further up this flank. And Abdul Aziz also there to support the short pass, but he's going to go long, and he does. Ball comes in beautifully, cleared. Don't think he knew where exactly that was going. So Saman Kumar gets it away one way or the other.
Well, absolutely no one. Quickly taken by Indiva. Here's the cross. Again, SLTB body intercepted. On the ball to the box. Felipe versus loading bicycle. It's on the set again, winning the ball. Niresh.
Saunders seem more than happy to bide their time and take their chances as they come. We don't feel the need to really push through any cutting edge attacks. And fair enough, they are sitting very pretty at the moment. Janaka Chaminda trying to create something, but possession turned over once again, and levels a little bit, and India Udara now with it all to do. Can he keep it in? Just a bit too much on it for him. But valiant effort by the Saunders skipper.
Zaid, the man that time who wasn't able to control it, came on to the game on the 36th minute on a surprise substitution with Patum Gimhan, who was really troubling the last man. Nalib also at the back has been pushing up his flank, creating trouble for SLTB.
Shanta Siri. Saunders coach doesn't want them to take the foot off the gas. And losing the ball there. Deshanta for SLTB, and a beautiful pass for Mufazal. Mufazal, the goal scorer, just a bit too much on it once again. He also has got pace to burn, so a lot to do still in this game. A nice little 1-2 here, and Saunders, can they make it 3? Yes, they can. An absolutely beautiful move, rounded off by a beautiful goal, and Saunders make it 3 with Mohammad Zaid, the substitute. Nice little chip over Sudesh Suranga as well. And as we approach the mark of having 20 minutes left in this game, door open for a potential goal fest as well. Once again, the goal scorer previously, Roger Philippe, with the assist.
Yeah, great assist by Felipe as Ziad gets his goal. 3-0 now, SLTB. Many of them with arms on their waist. They've been here. They know the dark road that lies in front of them. Now it's just a matter of by how much that they have to face. Looking to counter. Needs to cut it across, and clearance by Samira Pereira.
Both Roger Philippe and Jansan Alassane Sudarshana coming from the Ivory Coast, adding some overseas flair into this team, and that really has been the story, hasn't it, for Sri Lanka Transport Board, just kicking the corner out straight from the corner kick.
Alassane wanting to do a pull-up himself, haven't been put to work much. Philip. Ball, but Endeavour was maybe taking a break. SLTB now flirting with danger, and this is what they've done. Once the game gets away from them, they go on self-destruction mode. Offside called on Felipe.
Yeah, just a bit offside as that pass was made by Samir Pereira. Samir Pereira also an absolute stalwart of the local football scene. He's been playing for a very long time, so bags of experience under his belt. The 36-year-old entering the twilight of his career. Ball coming in and he gets in the way. Ball working to the far side there, but nothing doing, just a bit too much on it once again. Just a confirmation of that yellow card there for Saunders Sundaraj Niresh. And now Nalim. Just getting in the way of that. Samira Pereira doing enough to put Janaka Jaminda off and win a goal kick, and it's been another professional performance on the side of Saunders. They've not been in a rush. They've taken their chances rather, and buried them to take the win home as and when they've presented them, and not really pushed matters too much. And here's an opportunity. Roger Philippe with a speculative effort from distance, not enough venom on it. Samir Pereira defeated in the air there, but Nalim making no mistakes. But the real question is, Sudarshana, where does SLTB really go from here? They've lost 3 on the trot. Qualification seems like it's beyond them, and potentially relegation seems like a more realistic fight that they'll be involved in. What would you do if you are either a player or a member of the coaching staff for Sri Lanka Transport Board?
Well, a really difficult position, isn't it, Deshan? Because when your team and when you're a team and a squad and you're going into a game almost certain that you're going to lose it, that's when you try second guessing whether of your talent as well. Right? So while they may not have the same quality as many of the teams who are competing in this competition, some of these lads do have a lot of potential, but you will not push yourself so much, knowing that you're deep down in the pit. In their coach, they have a very experienced man who's been in the national dressing rooms as well. It'll be in the hands of him to try and ignite that fire. Maybe find those 1 or 2 young players who he can try and make examples of, to spark the older lads to try and get behind him We have seen glimpses of what they are trying to do. They have a couple of big men, so if they can get disciplined in set pieces, that's an area they can try and exploit. They have the height advantage, but are they disciplined enough to get the correct men around?
Absolutely, and I think also conditioning does play a part. What we've seen is that the structural discipline has kind of fallen apart over the second half. And here is an opportunity now for SLTB to make something of it, and a wasted one at that. They had the numbers. That first touch, not very convincing. Fazal giving it away once again. Here is an opportunity now, but Sanod Samir manages to nick it. SLTB, they need to just take their composure to the next level, stop and look around just a little bit before they try to push through hard.
See, there is absolutely nothing to lose for you here. 14 minutes separating you and a loss, another one. Throw the kitchen sink at it. Last game of the year. At least get a goal that you can chat to about, but Alessani rather has been a rock in front of the goal. Haven't been tested much, but he's showcased composure even when his defensive efforts were found wanting and lethargic in the first half. It's another through ball in the corner. The goal scorer that time being fouled. Domidu Hettiarachi with the little nudge which gets him in trouble.
A change on the cards for Saunders. It looks like it is a change indeed. It's Mohammad Shahid coming on for Sundar Raj Niresh. Niresh hasn't had the best game in the Saunders trip. A lot of the things he's tried not quite coming into fruition. He's not been able to hold up the ball well enough. And over a decade of experience in the yellow of Saunders. "28 years old, in the prime of his career really. Real age where you... Ball coming in and fantastic goal. That's 4-0. Philippe again. And it's from a tight angle. You should be expecting a ball coming off the defender as well, but Sudesh Suranga almost stranded. And despite Dumidu Hettiarachi getting a touch, the ball was goal bound and therefore will stand as a Roger Philippe goal.
Yeah, but rightfully so, because the ball was goal bound and Hettiarachi's touch just assisting it. Now Saunders can really break away from here. And what they like to do is try and send a message to the team at top New Star. If they can try and get a couple more goals, that they are not going to be any pushovers, because like I mentioned earlier, remember the draw that they have against them, call for handball, but the player had clearly turned away.
Saunders also taking a little easy. The intensity of the press, for example, Sudarshana has depleted substantially. by the Peta side.
Yeah,
And giving
always.
the ball away immediately to SLTB. Now SLTB with the numbers. Ball comes in. Here's an opportunity. Janaka Chaminda barging through the middle. Sanod Samir Pereira manages to nick it. Philippe found. Careless pass, but turns out to be right in the line for Sanod Samir. Indiva Udara now with the opportunity to cross. He sends a beautiful cross in. Collected by Sudesh Suranga. Spilt. Ball still spilt. And now looking to try and create an angle to shoot, a bit too tight, but finally the foul has been awarded.
Suranga not managing to collect that. And then Samir going to ground. Some rescue work by Shahid. The new man in. Beg your pardon. Mohammed Shahid. Shooting after the whistle.
Sanod Samir Pereira at the opposite end of the box, opposite end of the pitch rather. Seems to have injured his wrist.
Yeah, wasn't a good fall. Samir Pereira, if you can take a look at that instance.
Although it can be a hand injury, for those who have played the game, they'll tell you that it's never easy. Just another look at it. Left arm. Never easy, especially those injuries that come across with a degree of trauma to the hand, especially coming out of nowhere almost. You're not really ready when the contact comes for you to take the weight of your body on that arm. And
Yeah, absolutely. And it does catch you off guard, isn't it? And most times than not, you are taught to try and not land on your wrist. Use the shoulder, but this time Samir not having the time or the opportunity to do so. .83 minutes on the clock. Looks like that's going to be the game for the veteran defender, Mufasal. Opportunity now for Saunders. Will they have the pace? Here's Induvara running on to the ball, but nobody to cross. Another own goal. Did it come off Zaid, but didn't look like it's an own goal.
And the credit there goes to Induvara, who's put the ball into a dangerous area. It's one of those spaces where the ball is curving outwards towards this edge of the 6-yard box, and if you are a defender, if you don't get some contact on it, the chances are it's going to find an attacker. If you get some contact on it, you can always ricochet and go into the goal. Tuan Fahim, the SLTB skipper, putting it into the back of his own net. Not a very pleasant sight for any captain. Ball coming in now for SLTB. Here's an opportunity and an open goal for a consolation. But I don't know how he has managed to miss that. See if we can try and get you a replay of that effort. But a beautiful bit of work down the right flank and across that left, the entire defense of Saunders dumbfounded really. And in the meantime, Mohammad Fatih coming on for Sanod Samira. Here's another look at that effort. What a peach of a cross coming across. Kumara Vidurshan, the substitute, should have made it 5-1.
Should have controlled that ball. He had all the time in the world.
All the time,
Deshaun.
absolutely.
Unfortunately, looking to play it on the volley. Didn't get the control right. Open goal for him. Wouldn't have gotten a better opportunity. Beg your pardon, SLTB. Mohammad Fatih coming in for Samira Pereira, who's forced out due to the injury to his wrist. A low delivery by the skipper. Driving in, nobody at home, and the rebound is skied. Offside flag has gone up as well.
I don't think the scoreline quite tells the whole story, Sudarshan. I think SLTB have had their moments, and I think Saunders are rather flattered by the scoreline because they haven't been at their very best, and they've been very complacent. They've had a rather spotty performance.
Well, Sudesh Thuranga, the earlier time, had just given up. Sure looked like he was going all in. But what's concerning for us on this is the fact that the scoreline might get them a little more complacent. Alessani, yet again, rushing onto the ball. For me, the standout player from in that yellow jersey has been Nalim, who's looked very safe at the back. Endeavour. Felipe. Looking for a foul, Felipe. Referee will have none of that.
Beautiful pass there. Can they make it 5-1? Here's an opportunity, and he's not done what was needed once again. And this really has been the story for SLTB. They've not been without chances, but Abdul Kalam here should be hitting the target one-on-one with the keeper, and the failure to do so has been the story behind some of their results. And I think if they had converted some of their chances, I think it would inspire a little more confidence as well, change the nature of some of these games, but they failed to do so, and they continue to pay the price. Just flagged now. 3 minutes of added time. Sudarshana, we were speaking about this earlier as the game draws to a conclusion, and I think the result is foregone. Where does it leave Saunders really in terms of the scoreline versus the performance, and where does it leave SLTB?
SLTB, to be very frank and honest, Deshaun, I think would be somewhat happy about their performance, because the first 45 they did really hold their own despite conceding in the 46th minute of the first half. And like that, they have had the chances that have come their way. They haven't been able to try and get the basics right. Saunders, on the other hand, they are at the risk of being flattered, like you mentioned, with the scoreline. And if they let the complacency get into them, games against the more difficult teams, likes of Serendib and New Star in their group, are going to be very tough for them, because both those teams like to play at pace, will look to rush them, and both the teams do have a sizable midfield that can really challenge the opposition defense.
Absolutely. So despite today's result, all left to do really for Saunders as they continue in this Champions League. And Udara here taking it to the corner. Some smart football, finish it off. SLTB harried away, manages to win it back. Janaka Chaminda. Nice little passage of play here for SLTB. Janaka Chaminda once again looking for options, and a beautiful pass. Can they make something happen before the end of the game? Looking for that pass. Should have looked left, but just a bit too much on it, and it's killed the moment. Ball coming in though. Here's an opportunity. And referee calls for a foul on an infringement on Nalim. Maybe split second sooner in terms of the decision making. That cross coming in, he catches it cleanly as well, but despite that, potentially had that pass been made to the left side, Sudarshana, it would have created an open goal.
Yeah, the second attempt at making a connection, catching Nalim, as the referee blows full time and puts SLTB out of the misery.
Ladies and gentlemen, the scoreline for the line is Saunders 5, SLTB 0.
And that concludes yet another game here in the Champions League, the final game for the year for us. And Sri Lanka Transport Board go back into the dressing room on the back of 3 back-to-back results that did not go any way they liked. But I think they can take some confidence in this game from the fact that despite the scoreline, they did have their moments. They just need to be a bit more clinical. And that early goal can potentially change the way some of these results pan out for them.
But coming back to what you spoke about, the conditioning and also the fact that SLTB seemed to stray when it comes to the second episode of the game, is testament to how the scores have come across as well. End of the first 46 minutes was just 1-0. And then goals raining. 55th minute, 69th, and Felipe getting one in the 80th, 60th rather, and got his second. Beautiful through ball, 2 goals and an assist for the overseas talent of Saunders, getting the replacement Ziad. His goal. And this. This was the own goal by Fahim, the skipper, making contact and making it 5. Opportunities were there in both halves for SLTB, not managing to make the connection. That was a near miss for Saunders, but plenty of opportunity in the closing exchanges.
And this is a recap of your results from this weekend. Papare City losing to St. Mary's 2-0. Java Lane in a 2-2 draw with Crystal Palace. Solid. And New Star recording wins yesterday. Moragasmulla and Saunders. Saunders in a far more convincing fashion, of course, recording wins this evening. That's the conclusion of the final set of games for 2025. We'll catch you in 2026 with a whole host of fixtures coming up yet again. And in the meantime, we're just waiting for our team to grab the key players from today's game to have a quick word on their thoughts on how this game has panned out and how this competition is panning out as well. Now we're handing over to Navod Vijay Vikrama down by the top.
අප සමග දැන් එකතු වෙනවා SLTB කණ්ඩායමේ පුහුණුකරු මොහමඩ් ඉසරින් තවත් අසිරු තරගයක් SLTB කණ්ඩායමට අද තරගය ගැන මොනවද ඔබට හිතෙන්නේ?
තරගය හොඳට ගියා. හොඳට ශ්‍රී ලංකාව අපේ කට්ටිය විනාඩි 45 වෙනකන් පළවෙනි ගෝල් එකෙන් ගියාට පස්සේ තමයි මෙයා වුනේ. මැච් දෙක පහුගිය මැච් දෙකට වඩා අද පොඩ්ඩක් සෙටප් හොඳයි කියලා මට හිතෙනවා ටීම් එක.
තවත් ඉදිරි තරග කීපයක් තිබෙනවා. ඉතින් මොනවද මේ තරගවලදී ඔබ බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ කණ්ඩායමක් වශයෙන්? මොකද දැන් තිබෙන හැටියට රෙලෙගේෂන් බැටල් එකේ තමයි SLTB කණ්ඩායම සිටින්නේ. ඉතින් මොනවද ඒ තරග කීපයටත් එක්ක SLTB කණ්ඩායමේ තවත් ඉම්ප්‍රූව් වෙන්න ඕන ක්‍රීඩාංශයන් මොනවද තියෙන්නේ?
අපේ හැම පැත්තෙම ඉම්ප්‍රූව් වෙන්න ඕනේ. බලමු ඉස්සරහට මැච් තුනක් තියෙනවා. තුනක් පරාද වෙලා ඉන්නේ. තව මැච් තුනක් තියෙනවා. කොහොම හරි මේ බැටල් එකේ ඉන්න තමයි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ.
ඉදිරි තරගවලට සුපතනා ඉසිරි.
We apologize for that little technical error. That was Coach Mohammad Izzadeen from Sri Lanka Transport Board. We have yet another interview coming from pitch side, so we'll hand it back over to Navod Vijay Vikrama.
I have here with me the player of the match for today, Roger Philippe from Saunders. Roger, a good game. Your first game for Saunders. What do you think about your performance?
Thank you, my dirigent, my coaching, Saunders players. Thank you. Good match. Saunders, good match. Thank you.
Thank you, and all the best for the next week.
Okay, thank you.
That was Roger Philippe, the man of the match in today's game. And I think we have one more interview coming from pitch side. Navod, over to you.
අප සමග දැන් එකතු වෙනවා Saunders කණ්ඩායමේ ප්‍රධාන පුහුණුකරු දීශාන්ත සිරි. coach තවත් ජයග්‍රහණයක් Saunders කණ්ඩායමට අද තරගය ගැන ඔබේ හැඟීම මොකක්ද?
අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වුණා කොහොමත් අපේ කණ්ඩායමේ පුහුණුවීම් සැසිවලදී අපි මේ මැචස් ටික බැලුවාම CTB කණ්ඩායම අපිට එච්චර ලොකු අභියෝගයක් එල්ල කරයි කියලා අපි හිතුවේ නැහැ. අපිට එච්චර ලොකු මේකක් තිබුණේ නැහැ. ඉතින් නමුත් අපේ මීට වැඩිය ලොකු ස්කෝර් එකක් අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වුණා. නමුත් මේකෙන් අපි සෑහීමකටපත් වෙනවා. අපි තවදුරටත් අපේ කණ්ඩායම දිගටම පුහුණු කරගෙන ඉදිරි මැච් වලට කටයුතු කරන්න ලෑස්ති වෙනවා.
පළමුන අර්ධයේදී අන්තිම හරිය තමයි ගෝල් එකක් ලබා ගන්න. මොනවාද පළමුන අර්ධයේදී දැකපු දුර්වලතා ඒ වගේම දෙවෙනි අර්ධයේදී ඒවා වෙනස් කර ගැනීමට මොන වගේ දේවල්ද සිදු කරේ?
ඒකදී මුලින්ම මම දැක්කේ අපේ කණ්ඩායම ඇවිල්ලා හැමතිස්සෙම බෝලේ ළඟ තියාගෙන ශ්‍රී ලංකන් රෙඩි බෝල රිලීස් කරනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ ඇත්තටම පළවෙනි පාර දෙවෙනි පාර පාසස් වලදී. එතකොට අපිට ඒ වගේ වැදගත් වෙන්නේ ස්ට්‍රෝං ටීම් එකක් ඉන්නකොට අපිට ඒක වැදගත්. නමුත් මේ වගේ වෙලාවකදී අපි යන්න ඕනේ බෝලේ ගෝල් එක දැලට ගෙනියන්න තමයි අපේ මූලික අවශ්‍යතාවය වෙන්නේ. එතකොට අපි ෂෝට් පාසස් දදාගෙන දෙද්දී අපිට ඒක ලොකු පාඩුවක් වුණා. ඊට පස්සේ තමයි දෙවෙනි අර්ධයේදී කිව්වේ දුර පාසස් වලට ගිහිල්ලා බෝලේ ෂූටින් වලට යන්න කියලා. ඊට පස්සේ තමයි ඒගොල්ලෝ ඒක අවබෝධ කරගත්තා ඒක. මොකද අපිට අපි ෆුට්බෝල් ගහනකොට අපිට ඉන්න ටීම් එක වීක් වුණත් අපේ පර්ෆෝමන්ස් එන්නේ නැහැ. එතකොට ඒ හොඳ ටප් ටීම් එකක් වෙනකොට තමයි අපේ පර්ෆෝමන්ස්. ඒ වරද මම ඒගොල්ලන්ට කියලා දුන්නා. ඒ සෙකන්ඩ් හාෆ් එකේදී ඒක හදාගත්තා. ඊට පස්සේ ශ්‍රී ලංකාව
ජයග්‍රහණ දෙකකුත් තමයි දැන් සොන්ඩර්ස් කණ්ඩායමට තිබෙන්නේ. ඒ වගේම අලුතෙන් විදේශීය ක්‍රීඩකයෝ එකතු වෙලා තිබෙනවා. ඒ දෙන්නගෙන් රොජර් ෆිලිපේ අද හොඳට ක්‍රීඩා කරා. ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ ඩෙඩ් බෝල් සිටුේෂන්ස්, ෆ්‍රී කික්ස්, කෝනර්ස් වලින් හොඳට ඩිලිවරිස් එමෙනා. ඒ වගේ මිඩ්ෆීල්ඩ් එකත් හොඳට පර්ෆෝම් කරා. මොනවද ඒ ක්‍රීඩකයාගෙන් කණ්ඩායමට මේ අද තරගයේදීත් ඒ වගේ පුහුණුම් වලදීත් ඔබ දැකපු දේවල්?
ඔව් ඇත්තම කියනවා නම් ඔහු ලංකාවට පැමිණෙන්නේ පෙරේද. මට එක පුහුණු වාරයයි ඔහුත් එක්ක ක්‍රීඩා කරන්න තිබුණේ. අද තමයි මම මෙතෙන්ට ඇවිල්ලා අපි අර ට්‍රේනින් සෙෂන් එකට ඉස්සෙල්ලා කියලා දෙන ටික තමයි ආයේ ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ. තාම යාව මම මගේ ටීම් එකේ මේට්ලත් එක්ක හරියට සෙට් උනේ නැහැ කියලා එක තමයි මට තියෙන්නේ. මොකද එයාගෙන් ඊට වැඩිය මට ප්‍රයෝජනයක් ගන්න ඕනේ. එයා හුඟක් කලාට එයාගේ ෂූටින් තිබුණා. ඒ පළවෙනි දවසේ ප්‍රැක්ටිස් එකේදී මම දැක්කා එයාගේ හොඳ පාරවල් ගෝල්ට එල්ල කරා. නමුත් මෙයාගේ මේ අද දවසේ මට එහෙම ලොකු දෙයක් වෙනුනේ නැහැ. කියන්නේ එක දවසක පුහුණුවීම් විතරයි මගෙත් එක්ක එයා කරේ. ඒ වගේම අපේ ටීම් එකත් එක්ක සෙට් උනේ. නිසා බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා ඊළඟ වාරයේදී එයා මීට වැඩිය අදට වැඩිය හොඳට ක්‍රීඩා කරන ක්‍රීඩකයෙක් වෙන්න ඕනේ.
බොහොම ස්තුතියි. ඉදිරි තංගවල සුබවත්.
Thank you.
And here's a look at the games scheduled for next week in the new year. So 3rd of Jan, Pelicans SC taking on Sri Lanka Police, while Negombo Youth will take on Serendip SC, followed by Crystal Palace taking on New Star and Super Sun taking on Mathura City on the 4th of January. Sri Lanka Transport Board will take on yet another heritage club in Javale and SC, followed by St. Mary's taking on Murugas Muller on the 5th of Jan in the evening kickoff. And with that concludes our coverage of the Champions League here from Colombo for the year 2025. We'll join you again in the flip side. Have a happy new year.